launching of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? It's the Transformer Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream main event. My name's your Proto Man. This is the face that runs this place. I had a long day today, so if I seem a little out of it, I apologize for that. I didn't have a chance to shave, as you could see. So this is the Transformer Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream. We talk about Transformers. We recap the news with any of the new updates from what we've learned about as the week progresses. We take some super chats from the fans if they want to comment or ask any questions. And we're just going to relax the rest of the evening. Talk some Transformers, maybe even talk about some food. I like to talk about food on this podcast, it seems. And yeah, that'll be that. So let's get into it. Again, if you're new to this, again, there's the super chats, there's the YouTube members. We got some YouTube members here today. We got Timmy K. Poindexter, Roman Schillen, Ashnod, J.R. Mina from the Philippines, Mr. Bumblebot from Canada, Tick Gurr, Mike Rosen, Horned Owl. If I miss anybody, I apologize, but it looks like we got a lot of people here tonight. Princeton Phalanx 59. Everybody's here. It's going to get a little busy later on, that's for sure. Welcome, and shall we begin? Because it was quite a week here in the Transformer world, and it's going to get only crazier in the following weeks leading up to a certain Hasbro Fan Fest. But let's jump into that, shall we? Because we got a lot to cover. So first thing to cover here today is at the beginning of the week, we finally got to see some behind-the-scenes character sketches and design sketches for that NISA Transformer series. I did a segment at the beginning of this week. Go check it out. It's pretty much the front and back history of NESA Transformers, what it was, the names of the characters, the toys that we knew that existed, what the story was possibly going to be, what happened to it, the momentum and everything. And to give an update to that, after I recorded that segment, Aaron Archer contacted me and let me know that the idea of something like NISA Transformers actually existed as far back as 2014, where there was an individual at Hasbro that was always playing with this idea of, working with the Chinese market. And so this is something that's been building for a while now. And in a lot of ways, I feel, unless it's really considered lost media, it's something that I think maybe have died with Brian Goldner's dream, and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how much of this was developed in toys to packaging and everything for a claimed 52 episodes to just kind of vanish. And we don't really know for sure how many of those episodes actually got produced. Maybe it was just the one pilot that was what the trailer was used from. We'll never know. Maybe we will know one day, but there was a lot of cool designs that were kind of left on the table. I mean, this one here, this character of Xiaolong Nu that turned into a submarine. I mean, she looks pretty damn cool. Supposedly she comes from a whole other Chinese, cultural kind of show and everything called the Raiders of the Condor or something. I apologize if I am pronouncing this incorrectly and I am getting the information wrong. Like I always say, I am a white guy from Canada. I have no clue when it comes to this stuff. Japanese stuff, I know my stuff, but Chinese, a little fuzzy. But this is pretty cool stuff. I mean, I dig those designs. Looks really good. So, I mean, if you want to check it out after you're done the stream today, we have a really good segment that we did. I want to say it was about 15, 16, 17 minutes long. It was a pretty long segment, but we really cover like as much as we could of every inch, nook and cranny of what existed of this series. And, learn about a little piece of lost media of Transformers. It's kind of like the Chinese version of Transtech. That's kind of what I always compare it to, where we had all these designs, all these images, even some prototypes, and then nothing, kind of interesting. So check that out when you have time later. Pretty cool stuff otherwise. So we have some Rise of the Beast stuff. We have some new news, some new toys, some new images. We talked about these were called the Kuruto change figures. And the Kuruto change figures of the Bisto Kakse, or what Transformers Rise of the Beast is called in Japan. So we got to see these figures for the very first time, the Kuruto change, Bumblebee, and Nightbird. The belief is these are going to be what are the flex changers that we're going to get over here. Because we had a listing for something called flex changers. We had no idea what they are. Karuto in Japanese kind of means to like twist or flip or spin. It's kind of a catch-all kind of meaning. And considering that these look like they flex or spin or twist to transform, a flip changer, if you will, as we call it in the vernacular, um, it looks like something like that. So it's a strong possibility it could be a flip changer. The flip changers, their MSRP was $14.99. The MSRP on these Japanese ones, which are always a little more expensive because just how it is over there, um, is 2,420 yen. So that comes to about $18.25. But again, if you're interested in maybe getting this Nightbird, which as it stands right now is way more better looking than that mainline Jungle Mission one, I'd probably wait it out. Chances are this probably is the Flex Changers, and it'll have some kind of retail release where you could pick it up cheaper, no shipping, and fresh from your Walmart or Target or Toys R Us if you're a Canadian. So there was those, and then of course we also had the other one here of the Smash Changer Scourge. And when I saw this as a thumbnail, I honestly thought it was Battle Trap because of how much orange is on this one. I mean, it looks like Scourge in the movie has a little bit of that Revenge of the fallen kind of orange permeating out of him, but it definitely wasn't a primary color. And so we have a Smash Changer one here. Again, in Japan, this falls under the papapa change, which again, papapa is a play on words in Japanese that kind of means like large change or father change or, papa for French, father change. So it kind of just means like large change transformer. And these are the smash changers. So the MSRP on these, if you count the American price points for what we have for Smash Changers, this is probably going to be $34.99. Sure, I'm sure this will appeal to somebody. New Transformer fans, young Transformer fans, gimmicky Christmas gift, birthday gift kind of stuff, big expensive items. But at the end of the day, I mean, I saw the Cyberverse, whatever you want to call it. It's in the Cyberverse packaging, but it clearly is the Rise of the Beast Smash Changer Optimus. I saw it in person. It's in stores. They're not very big. So it's something where if you're paying $34.99, you're probably going to spend it on something that's a Studio Series or a Voyager or something way better, in my opinion. But again, it has its market. I understand where it belongs and where it fits in. It's not for me. It's not for most of the viewers here today. It's for a different demo, and it targets that demo, and it has to exist for that demo. So maybe when this one day ends up in a garage sale for $2, I'll pick it up. This is planned to ship out April 10th, 2023, if not breaking street dates already. It's going to be a Toys R Us exclusive in Japan, will probably be a mainline uh, basic item here in America. Stay tuned for that. But we're not done yet because Japan gave us some more photos. Also gave us our proper first look because the image that we have on the bottom right there was the only image that we got of this guy. And this is our beast weaponizers, Scorponok and Sandspear. Now Japan gave us a whole bunch more images and gave us a better clarification of what is what. Because if you looked at that bottom right image there, the assumption is, well, I guess that sword is what the scorpion transformed into, but actually the sword is his tail. It's a whole other thing. And the sand spear weaponizer or whatever you want to call it here today, battle master, I guess. The verbiage is so different now than it was a couple of years ago. But this little target master buddy or whatever is, he turns into a sword and then he has another sword. The big takeaway from this is that this is our very first Predacon of the Rise of the Beast line. Has a big old green Predacon logo right on his chest. And up to this point, we've seen Autobots in the trailer and Autobot toys. We've seen Terracons in the trailer and Terracon toys. We've seen Maximals in the trailers and Maximal toys. We've not seen anything of Predacons, toy or otherwise, in fiction of this movie. So to see Scorponok here, which is kind of a contradiction if this falls into the Bay universe, soft reboot, we don't know. Even Don Murphy isn't giving us a straight answer on that one. But at the end of the day, we got a Scorponok here. He has a Predacon logo on him, so this is technically our first Predacon that we're getting. So pretty hype. Then we have control art. So we talked about this. If you want to see these images in higher res, I suggest checking out the individual segment where we try to break down what's going on here with some of these and the history of what control art is, really. If you're curious what control art is and understanding that kind of behind the scenes story and what that exists for, go check out the individual segment we did a couple days ago. But outside of all the control art that we were shown, we saw some new characters for the first time through control art, and it was that of these boys right here. Now, granted, we've seen Wheeljack in toys and we've seen Nightbird in toys, but we haven't seen them in any kind of art or any kind of official animation capacity. So this is technically the first time we're seeing something of that manner of those two characters, especially Nightbird, that the only toys that we've seen of her have not been very good toys. So this is pretty hype. Nightbird looks fantastic, I'll be honest with you. And then, of course, we have Stratosphere. We're finally able to see the robot mode and this brand new character of Transit that is based off of technically a bunch of different, small run characters in Transformers IDW history. Made a small appearance as a bus in the IDW mainline books, made a small appearance as a bus in the IDW Transformers 2015 comic books, and now we got this one here too. So there's clearly, maybe this thing's a bus, maybe it's some kind of infiltration Terracon character. We don't know, but the fact that it has art here like that, that's control art, it might not just be a toy only character. This might be actually someone that's in the movie. And much like how a lot of us went into, like, say, something like Dark of the Moon, not really knowing about Laser Beast and his place in the movie or even him existing, and just being surprised with that character and being a major part of it, there's a strong chance that there's even characters we're not aware of yet that we might be going into this movie and not knowing about until finally seeing it. Hey, most of us didn't even know that Cliff Jumper was going to get a small appearance in the Bumblebee movie or some of those opening scenes and stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of surprises because let's be real, guys. All we know of Rise of the Beast is a bunch of toys, very little bunch of toys, and what 30 30 seconds of one trailer, and then that same trailer used footage for another, like, 45 seconds. So of a potential 2-hour movie, we got about a minute of footage that we're basing everything on. So we'll see what happens. A lot of cool stuff, but very interesting to say the less. Then, of course, less interesting and kind of disappointing, but to each their own. And it's the VNR Optimus Prime. Now, this thing, we don't have an MSRP on it. This is probably going to be another, item that'll be revealed during the Fan Fest next month at the beginning of April. But if the Holiday Optimus Prime is any indication, the Holiday Optimus Prime was $55.99. Fantastic price, in my opinion, for what you're getting. This is something that I imagine will probably be in that same ballpark. I mean, if not less. I mean, the box is less dynamic. There's less new tooling for this and everything. So I can imagine that it'll probably be in that $55.99 kind of price point. I mean, look, it doesn't look terrible, but it's not exactly exciting either. And it kind of stands by my theory that sometimes what Hasbro does is when they're kind of faced with an idea, hey, we got to do a paint deco of something. Sometimes it's safer to do the more boring one first because people will pick that one up. And then later on, they'll do like a G2 hero color, and then people will pick that one up. And then guess what? You bought the holiday one, you bought the vanilla one here, and now you bought the G2 because G2 is awesome. And well, there you go. So that's a possibility. But at the same time, I imagine also VNR, much like let's say the camera Optimus, they kind of just want to have a vanilla Optimus to be proud of and say, hey, even our trucks transform into the legendary Optimus Prime. And when your average manager at the company or your average truck driver was probably someone that grew up with the 1985 Transformer TV series and the toys and the comics, I could understand their perspective. But it's kind of boring, kind of a very boring box too. Like, man, that is a vanilla looking box. But it is what it is. Personally, me right now, the Holiday Prime is kind of the better purchase of the two and is still available on Hasbro Pulse. I'm shocked it's still available on Hasbro Pulse because that's a fantastic item. Very cool looking. Christmas Convoy. Yeah, T-Formers 2002. That's what I was calling him. Christmas Convoy. Very good stuff. Then we got here. This is the two items that we have here today. We have the Squeezlings. We talked about these quickly. These are showing up all over eBay right now, and they're on eBay right now for like $15. So chances are, if those are what the scalpers are paying, um, let's just say that it's probably cheaper in retail. So there's like an 8-pack here. You get the blind bag squeezlings that would normally you had to buy blindly and you didn't know which characters you were getting. Now you get them guaranteed in this box set, as well as 4 black repaints of not Nemesis Prime, not Elite Guard Bumblebee, not Skywarp, and totally not Microman Walter P38. Megatron Gun Robo. So those are available again right now, $15 on eBay, probably cheaper at your local store. They were found in Targets and Walmarts. I was reconfirmed, so there's that. And then we have the nacelle listing that we talked about. If you want to learn about the whole history of nacelle, go check out that individual segment that I did too just a couple days ago. Learn about the history of where the colors came from, why not to buy that original figure because quite fragile and everything like that. So go check that out too. Nice little segment that I put together there. And then, of course, we have the big news, the big news, which is War Dawn 2-pack. So these showed up in a GameStop in Canada World, and a employee attempted to purchase it, was not able to purchase it, took some photos, put those photos online, went back the next day when a different manager was there, and then purchased it and gave us a whole big photo shoot of this potential, chances are, Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest item this April. So again, for people that have not been paying attention to the individual segments I've done up to this point, so this is a Studio Series 86 Cup, retooled extensively, and a Prime Legacy RC, also retooled extensively, and giving us two very good, very awesome looking figures of their War Dawn equivalencies of Dion and Erlita. Not Erlita, Ariel. I hate how they word her name on the box there, Ariel. I mean, it's Ariel. Let's be real. It's Ariel, but Disney. So they're playing it safe. Um, the Dion comes with those new accessories there that mount on his back. The Ariel comes with a silver gun there that wasn't available with the original Prime RC or any of the repaints from it of Flame War and Road Rocket. So looking real good. I like these a lot. I'll be dead honest with you. This is fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. And hold on, I got some of the other images here. There we go. So we got just some really good looking stuff here. It's just, man, oh man, it just looks really good. I'm impressed. And again, the cool thing about it is, here, let me grab some figures here, because you got like the cup that has like the interchangeable parts and stuff, and I love that you kind of have that in a kind of a fossilizer kind of play pattern. And then you got even Orion here, which already like, man, oh man, that's some good looking stuff. And now you got this guy. So between those two dudes and now this one, you got a lot of limb swapping action going on here. And that looks just, I mean, maybe it's just me. I think these are really, really cool. I really do. And now we got these ones. And they're based off of characters that, in all honesty, I mean, you got this guy. That's really it. And the wheelie repaint. Which one thing I will say now that we have this one here done from the cup mold, that definitely means that that wheelie that we got recently through core class is probably not going to be painted into Dion. So looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. I'm super hyped about this. I think this looks really awesome. And I hope we get more of this, because think about it, we got the Guardian robot from Generations Selects. So that's another kind of War Dawn pre-Cybertronian War character. We got these two guys. Who else are we going to get? Are we going to get like young Alpha Trion? Are we going to get Beta? Anyone remembers who Beta is? The green one? Green Fembot? Like, I mean, it'd be crazy if we get like a whole bunch of updated versions of those like designs of the Fluoro Deary style. So we will see. We will see. Pretty hype though. I dig it. And that's it more or less for the news this week. It was a lot of stuff though. There was just a lot of rapid fire stuff, a lot of new stuff here and there. And we have one more week pretty much in March. And we're going to be marching forward, no pun intended, into April. Saturday is going to be April 1st. So be careful what you read online on April 1st in Transformer news. But then we're going to be going into Hasbro Fan Fest in the beginning of April, where there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff revealed. And man, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff. Hasbro's really, putting out that product there. They're putting out a lot of stuff. So that's it more or less. So again, if you have any questions or anything, be sure to hit up the super chats because we'll get into our super chat question portion. But first, let's do some sponsorship because it's what keeps the lights on for this podcast. So we got Symbiote Studios, good old Symbiote Studios, rocking their Catnip Bravo shirt here today and the pins of Old Convoy. And of course, we got the plush, the pins, and the t-shirts, as always. Um, Probably, I want to say next week, we're going to have the reveal for the new plush. Everything is going through Hasbro's approval process right now, that everything looks nice and kosher and looks as the design should be. So the next kind of plushes will be coming very soon. So be sure to stay tuned for that for the 2023 collection of plushes from Symbiote Studios. If you have not picked up anything else, be sure to check it out at symbiotestudios.com. A lot of really good stuff. That Grimlock plush sold like absolutely crazy at TFCon LA. So get in on that before that sells out because when it's gone, some of those are gone. When they retire them, they retire them. That goes with all the others too, yo. Whether it be your Power Rangers, there's going to be some other Power Ranger stuff coming in the future. So I suggest you pick up these Power Ranger ones because there's more Power Ranger stuff coming of the old school nature. There's going to be more of other stuff. I don't want to spoil. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming. Get your Ranger pins. I mean, look, Rangers Now and Forever is coming out soon on Netflix, so you could get in on the hype on that. Magic the Gathering stuff, G.I. Joe. It's all awesome. Again, symbiotestudios.com. Check them out. Every time you buy something Symbiote Studios, you help the podcast and tell them that Proto Man sent you because there's a lot of plush. Almost knocked off a primal there. There's a lot of plush back there. And of course, can't forget also And Deceits over here. And Deceits, our official podcast cockpit. Every time I'm recording the podcast, editing the podcast, or just yapping like an idiot, I'm in my And Deceits, which I got to tell you, anyone who watched the old podcast live stream segments, I had a garbage chair for years. And this is the first time I have a high quality gaming chair. So it's nice to get something nice. It's nice to get something nice. Tucker, I need the Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. I want a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Black Ranger with a dragon shield. That's always my favorite go-to design. So that would be the best. But And Deceits, again, check them out. And again, Use promo code PROTOMAN, get 15% off your first order of the 3 Transformer chairs that are available. And they are very awesome seats. Very cool. And last but not least, again, if you haven't caught the latest episode of the Toy Armada, is Aaron Archer in here today? I know Aaron did a absolutely fantastic segment yesterday. Go check out on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer on his live stream segments. He did a really good one talking about mini cons and kind of the whole process of it. And I didn't realize, I mean, I've talked with Aaron hundreds and hundreds of times, but I didn't realize that he pretty much was responsible for 90% of the minicon designs that exist. So that's pretty crazy when you think about it. So check out the Toy Armada and Aaron Archer. We have our brand new Optimus Prime segment that's up there talking about the history of Super Base Convoy, aka Optimus Prime, as well as check out his brand new live stream segment that he did just yesterday. Check that one out too. It got cut off a little bit at the end, but it was a good 45 minutes of learning about the history of the mini cons, the microns. And another thing, too, I got to warn you guys. So, Aaron Archer, The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 1, Black and White Edition, is almost sold out. It will be retired for the brand new book that will be coming afterwards. So I heavily suggest if you did not get volume one, do not miss your chance on archermonster.com/shop. You're going to be probably your last chance to get it because once they're gone, they're gone. And then the next volume is going to be coming out with more brand new stuff. But again, if you want to own some awesome original art, check out archermonster.com/shop. Pick up the art book here for $20 for an extra $15. He'll sign the inside and draw any piece of art that you want on the inside too. He has a section there to draw you some original art. Do you want tidal wave in there, sideways? Do you want even, I don't know, Armada Skywarp that he talked about today with that little fin? He loves me himself an Armada Skywarp. Vector Prime, you name it, he'll draw it for an extra 15 bones. Again, archermonster.com/shop. And that's it, more or less, for our sponsorship. We got a super chat here from Princeton Phalanx 59. When will the other Walmart exclusives be revealed? So here was the story with that. So I got this straight from Hasbro's marketing of Ben. So straight from the top. I got this straight from the horse's mouth. So Ben said what happened with that is I don't want to name the other marketer that screwed up, but one of the other marketers, he was supposed to send a image package to Walmart to put on their archives, not to publicly put out, to just put on their archives for their computers, and then they're going to pull from those archives when they do the listings later on. When he sent that package, he sent one deluxe class, which was supposed to be the Jazz, and the package of images, one package of Voyager class, which was Cloud Cover and those images, and one package of Leader class, which was supposed to be Toxitron. If you look at Toxitron's images, he has all the packaging images except the front of the box. But whose front of the box was available? That Grimlock image. So the individual, again, don't want to name his name, accidentally put the Grimlock box packaging inside it, as well as other stuff, and everything kind of got mashed up, and that's why we saw what we saw. The other stuff will be available in the future. It will be Wave 2. It's just this is Wave 1 right now. This is their Velocitron equivalency for 2023. So just stay tuned for that. More of it is going to be coming at some point. And there's going to be more. There's going to be, like we said, G2 Dead End, the Mirage. You know, it's pretty cool. And even the that wacky sunset colored Sideswipe. Those are probably all going to be available in Wave 2. So stay tuned for that. A lot of really cool stuff coming from that Toxitron collection. If you are a G2 kid, a 90s kid, man, this speaks to you like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Born and raised. Good stuff. So that's it more or less for that. I mean, it was kind of a weird situation and just things got mixed up. That happens a lot of times because you guys have to understand a lot of times the marketing individuals that are hired to send out all of these images, they're hired by Hasbro, they know their toys, but sometimes they don't know every single character, and combined with the fact that now you have this kind of closed box kind of packaging. And I mean, let's be real, look how colorful and distracting those boxes are, because they're so colorful and distracting. The individual probably like looked at Toxitron, saw this colorful box, made the mistake. It's heavy on the eyes in a lot of ways, you know. Tucker says sunny side up. Yep, definitely. It's the sunset one on the chest. Ron Diaz says on the regular question here from the YouTube members, what can they do with that JP mold? Are you talking about you're talking about the JP93 Jeep? I mean, the obvious answer, and I'm pretty sure other people share my sentiment with this, is we're probably going to see at some point Red Alert, Armada Red Alert from that. That's probably the obvious, easy answer. You'll see Armada Red Alert. You'll see Power Links Armada Red Alert. So right away out of that tooling, you'll get three, which is, I mean, I always say if there's any piece of tooling out there and they already get three repaints out of it, that's more than the standard. I mean, there's so many toys that I could think of from even like the Archer era that never got repainted. Like they got like that one paint scheme and that was it. So like, you know, all of that tooling and effort that went to it and it would only get like one deco. So if you could get three out of something easily, let alone four, five, six, seven, then it always works. What up, Ton Laney? Um, but yeah, it's, you know, that I could see that for sure. Obviously, there's other things that could potentially be done from it. Um, I mean, they at the same time, I could see them. I know this sounds crazy, but in a future couple of years, if they do another anniversary with, let's say, Jurassic Park, they could sell individually just that vehicle on its own because it's not on the same sprue as the Rexy or the T Rex. So you could also sell it individually in the future. Kind of look like what they did. They did the Ectotron on its own, and then they did that special edition version a couple of years later that came with the Slimer and stuff. You know, just in time for the movie. So it's the same thing too. I could see them down the line. Oh, it's the anniversary of find a nice round number for Jurassic Park, and then you could just release just that vehicle again. So then you get more mileage out of that. I mean, right now it's like look what they did with the Maverick, you know, the Top Gun one. They did a basic release that came with the volleyball, and then they did a second release in time for the movie. So that even though it's kind of the same deco, it's actually there's the deco is a little different, but it's so not noticeable. You have to pay attention to it. It's like the weathering. You know, they technically got two deco releases out of it, even with something like Maverick. And in something like the case of the that terrible X-Men one, that was just a retool from the Jetfire. And that was just them going like, well, what do you do with Jetfire? You know, Studio Series, Jetfire, Revenge of the Fallen, what do you repaint that into? Yeah, like, you know, maybe the original Revenge of the Fallen line was able to like do weird color schemes and stuff with legend scales and everything. I'm looking at some of them right now. But you know, when you're talking like a big leader class or something, you got to be a little more creative. And that's where they did the partials into the Expanse, which was not the best thing. That was probably easily probably the one of the most clearanced items of the crossovers that we've gotten or the collabs up to this point through Target and stuff. So anyone who got it full price, I feel sorry for them. Anyone who got it cheap, you probably more or less paid what it was really worth when it was all said and done. Princess Phalanx 59 with the YouTube member question. Did I miss anything before? Oh, Ben. I'll get to Ben first, Princeton, then I'll get yours. Ben Williams says, do you think they will do an RID prowl out of the War for Cybertron Cyber Slide Swipe mold? Personally, me, I'd rather they do a brand new tooling. If they do a brand new tooling, you could have more something that's loyal to the original car robots, Mock Alert, Prowl RID design. And then again, how many repaints could you get out of that? Well, you got Super Mock Alert, aka Super Prowl. Then you got like the all the repaints from that Universe 1.0. Then you got the BotCon colors of Sideswipe and Sunstreaker that were done with those. And again, a Sideswiper and a Sideswipe and a Sunstreaker done, let's say, 3 years away from that Earthrise version, people buy those versions again. Because you might go like, oh, why would people want to buy a Mock Alert, Sideswipe, and Sunstreaker? Yeah, you give people 3-4 years away from that original War for Cybertron mold, and the old saying goes, Dusty Rhodes said it the best, you can't miss me unless I'm gone. And if you put a period of time in between a very awesome release, people will look into the next one. They'll consider it. It's fresh, it's new, it's different. So that's the way I see it. But I see it being a brand new tooling. I could see them doing a brand new speed breaker, aka sideburn, a brand new X Brawn, aka Wild Ride. I could totally see that happening. Princeton Phalanx 59, does the how well the figures sell determine if they get repaints? Nope, not at all. A figure could sell insanely well and get repaints, and a figure could sell terribly and get repaints. Best example is something like Skids and Mudflap, but more specifically, Mudflap from Revenge of the Fallen. Uh, by the time Hasbro knows that those figures didn't sell well, they already are like 2 years removed. So it's something where hey, there's Aaron Archer. By the time they usually find out, it's kind of too late to kind of make those decisions anyway. So usually there'll be 3 repaints before they even realize the first one didn't do well. You know, that's usually the case. I mean, obviously, if it was 10 years later, and then they could go, oh, that didn't do well. That wasn't a good mold. But by then, they really wouldn't be messing with 10-year-old sculpts, anyways, and tooling. Where are we at here? Mike Rosen. They could do an X-Bron out of the JP mold, maybe. Again, I rather new tooling, and the JP mold is almost Voyager scale, where you want the Carr brothers to really be uniform and stand next to each other. And I could see them being like really good deluxes with the modern tooling we have here today. Brand new. Aiden Tolbert with the super chat for the $2. Thank you, Aiden Tolbert, for the super chat. Uh, if you're a TF human villain, I'm out of it today. If you're a TF human villain, what is your goal? If I was a villain, and like I'm trying to take out the Transformers, I don't know, find a virus or something, you know, figure out some kind of technology that like mess with them internally, because you're not going to beat them externally. What's his name there, Mandroid's trying to do to become Cybertronian, that's not going to work out in the end, you know.
Megatron must be stopped.
Input a virus,
The cost.
control them. That's the best way to do it. But I wouldn't be a villain. Timmy K Poindexter Esquire the third. Thank you for the super chat again, Alden. Timmy with the super chat. Proto, which TF trademarks need refreshing soon? I'd have to check. The one that I know recently, and I was just reminded of it, was Blackout. Blackout was one that recently has expired. They refreshed it, and then hate to break it to you, but that's where they stuck it. you know. Um, but that was one. I'd have to look at the list. I have a list where it constantly lets me know what's hitting that 4-year mark. But even then, if it hits the 4-year mark, they refresh it, and then they have another 4 years before they do it, so they could do it on year 3. So I'd have to look into it. I'm usually reminded when stuff expires by seeing product show up, because product will show up, and then I'll go like, "Oh yeah, we haven't gotten that in 4 years." So that's usually the case. I'd have to look at the list. Let me just try to think. Something like Strong Arm is probably on there. Strong Arm's probably on the cutting list to be brought back up. How far are we away from some of those Target Masters? Something like what's his name there? Not Crosshair. Was it Crosshairs? No, not Crosshairs. Not Sure Shot. Point Blank. No, it's Crosshairs. Crosshairs, I think, is another one that might be due for one, but then they did the studio series, so no, probably not yet. I'm trying to think. There's some others. I know I'm forgetting them. It's just off the top of my head right now, but I mean, there's definitely. I have to check out the list on the U.S. Patent Office. Detective Ferret for $5. How many figures can they get out of a Transformers Origin subline before they start pulling from other stuff? Well, you keep doing so. If you're talking just Generation 1, you could get some pretty interesting stuff out of there. I mean, when you really think about it, right? Something like this guy here and Dion and Alita could have easily been part of that Origins line when you think about it, right? Like, excuse me, Ariel. Like Ariel and Dion could have been part of Origins, so they kind of maybe missed an opportunity there by making that box set. But of course, we're going to see Wheeljack. Of course, we're probably going to see a Soundwave. I think Evan is going to make his new Soundwave that he keeps saying that he wants to do. And then with that new Soundwave, he's going to pre-plan a way for it to do the lamppost mode. And there'll be a special tooling for when they do an Origin Soundwave with the lamppost mode and the little disc Laserbeak, because Laserbeak had a different eagle mode before. So I could totally see them doing the Soundwave. I could see them doing the Wheeljack. And when you think about it, we've gotten an Origin once every year. So Wheeljack 2024, Soundwave 2025. I'll see you in 2026 and we'll have an answer. You know? If not, they'll think of something before they start diving into, say, like, Cybertronian Armada design, Cybertronian movie design, Cybertronian, like even Origins, and then we dive into animated Cybertronian designs because there's Cybertronian designs for animated characters too. So I'm pretty sure there could be a whole bunch. See, like right here, Ron Diaz just said, "Do you think we'll get a BB Origins Elita One?" Well, that would be, in my opinion, the Elita One would have been that Ariel, and a proper Elita One we'll just get as a main line at some point because, I mean, look, as much as it was a cool figure, the Power of the Primes one that turned into a jet, wasn't much of a fan of it as a representation of the animation model. Good head sculpt on it though. The one that we got that was a retool, that one, the new one that we got recently from Minerva over here. I always keep Minerva nearby because she's awesome. But the one that we got from Minerva here, I'm telling you, man, this thing was planned as a Minerva mold beforehand, and then afterwards a Alita idea in the back of it. So I could totally see like we're getting a better Alita at some point down the line. That's how I could see it. Prince of Phalanx 59 Proto, did you get any snow today around 6 inches? Yes, I did. Oh, I got a 6 inches, all right. Minimum. 6 inches soft. Oh, anyways. Um, yeah, we got a ton of snow today. Like this morning, I woke up, went to do my groceries and everything. No snow at all. Actually, was thinking about maybe I'll switch my winter tires even maybe for next week. And then we got dumped tons of snow today. It's gonna go away though. The rest of the week is gonna be +5 and stuff. I think it was just a little flurry. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. Crazy stuff. Where are we at here? Mr. Bumblebot says Wave 4 Strong Arm. Yeah, I would love a new Strong Arm. I like that. Strong Arm was probably one of my favorite things out of the RID 2015 series. Like there was a lot of good ideas. I like the idea of a whole bunch of new Decepticon characters that were like almost like Mavericks from Mega Man X in a lot of ways, all these wacky new designs and trademarks that we haven't seen in years. But at the same time, like in terms of the Autobots, that was like the big takeaway that I really liked was Strong Arm as a character and a good use of that trademark because that was an Energon trademark that was used for a hot second for a Classics Minicon,
Megatron
and then
must be
boom, it
stopped,
becomes this, and
no
then
matter the
cements itself as
cost.
that character permanently in a lot of ways. Ben Williams could see female Autobots considered for Origins characters. I mean, you could stick them there, I guess, if you want to put like Firestar and all of them. That's one place you could put them, but Origins is really kind of like the design before what we know them as. And it's not like there was a design before for Firestar and then she became something else in the show or Chromia or Alita. Like to me, like that Ariel that we got just recently with the Fan Fest item, that would have been a proper Origins design. Like if they would have put this as an Origins design for even Orion, that would have made sense. Personally, that's just my take. Tucker, would an Armada sideswipe make more sense as a retool or new mold? And how would you handle the rider and mirror? Well, I mean, me personally, I think that if they did Armada sideswipe, it would be something where, like, you have to think again, multiple molds ahead. So you go, I would do number one, brand new tooling. It's sideways, the Armada character. Sideways, Armada character, the Unicronian double agent or Unicron, depending on the dub that you're listening to. Um, Brand new tooling, headmaster gimmick, everything like that. Maybe not have the extra gimmick of the chest opening up and showing the emblem, because that might be a little too much extra tooling and too gimmicky for something that is a much more replica kind of line, like Generation stuff or Legacy, whatever you want to call it at this point. But I could see them doing the headmaster thing, being slavishly loyal to that, and having the two robots to do the two headmasters, and then doing the Energon repaint. So you'll have the Tread Shot repaint. Tread Shot, the repaint could be a Generation Selects item, limited numbers, simple brown box kind of thing. You could do that. Oh, we get an Energon character and it's the Tread Shot colors. Then after that, then you could think about, well, have we ever gotten a headmaster that like of traditional headmasters that ever turned into a motorcycle? No, we haven't. But maybe we can make a new character. And that's where you have some fun, where you could maybe do a Junkion that's a headmaster that could remove his head because Junkion's, parts and pieces. So there's that kind of storytelling. You owe me one, Hasbro. There you go. There's ways that you could kind of do that. And like I said, if you get 3 decos out of a mold, in my opinion, that's a success. So you go original, Tread Shot Energon, Junkion, Headmaster. Bada boom. Enjoy. Enjoy. Quick Randy with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Quick Randy, for the super chat, brother. Is Laserbeak the only G1 to have a Cybertronian bot mode? Also, let's get a core class Sari Sum deck. I would love that. They said any character is on the table. Well, the first part, so if you want a Cybertronian mode of the cassettes, while there is that, but just not in the cartoon. So like characters like Ravage in the War Within, I'm just pointing at my War Within Titanium's Optimus there and all the other War Within stuff that's in that vicinity. Ravage had a bipedal kind of mode in War Within. And then of course, when he came to Earth, he was more of a rat kind of thing. Same thing with characters like Ratbat. You got like the Senator Ratbat, the more robotic bipedal kind of humanoid Cybertronian. And then, of course, you have afterwards the Ratbat that we know today. So Ravage isn't the only one, but when we're talking cartoon, Laserbeak isn't the only one, but when we're talking cartoon, Laserbeak is the only one of the cassettes that did have a Cybertronian mode. Although I could argue, you could probably imagine what Buzzsaw would have looked like. Probably would have also been the same colors. Not same colors, same shape, different colors, the yellow, because Buzzsaw made his 1 episode appearance. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But thank you for the super chat. That's a good one. It's a good one. Link CW did not realize I lost subscription. Oh, well, welcome back, Link CW. Welcome back for the subscription of the YouTube membership. And your question is, Hasbro should do selects non-clear eject rewind ram horn. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I have him right here because Blaster is my boy. I love Blaster. He was my first Transformer. I would love it if they did normal colors. I'm pretty sure, in all honesty, I'm pretty sure they'll do it at some point. They'll probably do some kind of repaint, gang molded with the Blaster because the chest is Blaster's chest is shared with eject, and they'll do something. They'll do something. I'm sure. Again, I always say this. They always do kind of, the lesser paint scheme, and then they give you something later on, so they make that second sale. It always happens. Where are we at? The Ben Williams. Is it the G1 Cybertronian versions of characters of Mortal Eye Part 1 so far? Bumblebee Jazz have been released. Yep, Bumblebee Jazz, we don't have the Soundwave, we don't have the Wheeljack, and we technically with Soundwave having a Laserbeak. So in theory, if they come out every year, that means you get one every year. So that's already 2 years if you have Wheeljack and Soundwave with Laserbeak. Maybe throw in a Shockwave in there. I don't know, because he also is Cybertronian laser gun, and he's stuck on Cybertron with those, and he kind of appears within the first 5 seconds of all of that. But I mean, even then, that would be stretching it a little bit. Princeton Founding 59, do you think Hasbro will make more Action Master representations of figures? Well, that's actually a question that a fan asked me on the Patreon, for the Patreon listener question. I think we will, primarily because there's a lot of cool designs there, but also for other reasons that Prince and I will answer in the future because I have a big segment related to that with the Action Master partners and the sentient ones specifically. So stay tuned for that. It's a good one because that's something that's going to be coming up in the future. Tom Laney, been watching videos of someone who's been building some weaponizer fossilizers. He comes up with some really cool combinations, even all the Junkions we've been getting. Well, that's something that I'm very happy that that's happening because there used to be a line that Takara used to have back in the day called Blockman. Not Rockman, Blockman. And it came out in 1981, I want to say. 81 or 82, predates Transformers here. And they were kind of the same thing. There are these little robots that you could kind of combine and build all kinds of stuff together. And that's a very creative kind of thing that's always fun to do. Then I'm also reminded of stuff like Mugenbein, which was like Machine Robo Mugenbein, that also kind of had this building element to it with all these universal pegs and stuff. So, and Mugenbein was, I want to say like 2010, 2011 ish that came out. So there's a lot of cool ideas when you have like Transformers, but you also have kind of a modulator kind of building aspect to it. In a lot of ways, I feel like it's Hasbro kind of looking at maybe even the success of Lego in the building block world and giving that creativity to the collector where or even just the non-collector who's just a young fan where you could look at it and go, yeah, the rule is to make it go from point A to point B, but what if there was like a point C, which is you could also take the character apart and mix and match stuff and go like, yeah, like maybe you want to like go and then take this off and then put this here and then oh yeah, like just having that modulator element to it, good old foot leg here, Orion. But just something like that. I could see, more of it in the future. And there's a big encouragement of that in a lot of ways. Uh Mike and Louie, welcome Mike and Louie. Nice to see you guys. Hope you had a good dinner. Where are we at here? Ben, a Sentinel would be cool in Origins. Well, see, that's a tough one because you could have like a Sentinel Prime because we do have a few designs to base it on. But Origins is really about something that a person had and then get something afterwards. Sentinel's history is death, and there is no later. So that's another weird one. And again, Sentinel Prime was in theory, a Marvel Comics creation, and then a IDW, not an IDW, a Dreamwave creation, and then moving on more into comic books. Obviously, we're going to ignore the live action movie stuff and animated, but so it's something where the origin pre-prime thing it's kind of hard to fit that in there that it would work with the flavor of everything. Man, did an hour pass already? Wow, that was quick. Because I wanted to talk about some cool stuff too. So I might as well use this to talk about. So we talk about food here on the live stream. I'll take some more questions in a moment. Just let them pile up. Um, so we talk about food a lot here on the live stream. So once in a while, I like to spoil myself, do some cheat food. And I saw these today while doing my grocery shopping. These are the most Oreo extreme. And then en français, they're biscuit cream. So these are the thickest Oreos of all time. I have not opened these yet, but I'm very curious to see how big these are. Giggity. And it's heavy though. Like it's really heavy. So we're gonna crack this up open and we'll try one. Oreos are absolutely extremely unhealthy. Let me look here for a moment. One cookie is 16% of your fat for the day. Oh my goodness. I would destroy this box in one sitting. Anyways, I'm just going to make sure to do a lot more squats before I take my shower tonight. Just to work it off. So these are like supposedly the thickest of the thick Oreos. So let's crack this open. They always have this stupid safety thing on here. Ugh. Oh my God, these things are huge. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at that. That's like something you would have made up. Look how thick that is. Thick. Oh, I mean, yeah. Look at that. And it's cookies and cream, so it's like the here. So they put the little Oreo pieces in there too. Oh man. Mm. It's true. I should have had milk ready. Oh my god, you're right. I'm gonna have it with water. I didn't even think of that. Man, oh man. These days are amazing though. One moment. I don't want to miss any super chat questions. Mm-mm-mm. Mikey Louie, I love that Orion is way more than any other Orion packs they made. If only they transformed him into something other than a truck. Oh well, we'll probably get something like that at some point. A different Orion throughout the years. Ron Diaz, Studio Series, Gamer Devastation. That I'd like to see. Armada game. Get some of those unique mini cons that were in there. That's a fantastic game. People have slept on that game like crazy. Oh, these are good. These are good. I'm gonna have another one. um, let's see. Prince of Phalanx 59. After the next Titan figure, what figure would be left for Hasbro to make? Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty. Look, Tidal Wave is the go-to. Nemesis. You know, you could obviously then go revisit some of the others like Grandis. Do some big guys like that too. Do a Grandis. Make do something like crazy big characters like Underbase Starscream. You know, imagine having like a huge Starscream figure. Underbase Starscream would be crazy. Also from Battlegate Starscream. That's one of the mangas by Naoto-san. Really good G1 manga. There's a lot of great ideas. I mean, if they were willing to do Cybertron Metroplex and had confidence in that, I mean, obviously they did it for trademark reasons too, because they had to do a Metroplex. But if they did a Cybertron Metroplex, I'm pretty sure. And they're going to revisit the others. Gamer Edition, Titan Class, Nemesis, Trypticon, or for Cybertron. You know it's going to happen. They're going to revisit those older trademarks too. We're going to see Omega Supreme again at some point. 4 years from now, it's going to be Gamer Editions, War for Cybertron, Omega Supreme. They'll do it. They'll do it for sure. They'll do it for sure. I'll put another one of these in my mouth. I love how they have to say on the back a reminder. Looking for a special treat? One serving is one cookie. Just to remind you how bad it is. How bad it is just to eat one cookie. So I ate two. So I'm already at 32% of my fat for the day from two cookies. I mean, considering I already ate plenty, I'm going to leave that alone. You know what, though? I will say one thing. How many are in here? So one row has 6. So the whole box is 18 cookies because they're so thick, but they're cool. They're really good. Yes, they're bigger than the double stuff. Oh yeah, 100%. They're huge. I think it's like triple stuff or quadruple stuff. They're huge, these ones. They just came out. They were brand new. They had a big display and I was like, maybe the listeners would like this. So, got to get it. Got to get it for you guys. If I miss any questions, guys, just repeat them, please, for the YouTube members and Patreon. Excuse me, super chats. Burrow's mouth is full of white cream, cookies and cream. We're all going to hell. Food talk this early in the stream. Yeah. I actually have also, I have it here somewhere. We have a Patreon listener question that was going to be brought up during the live stream. Let me just get that one. There it is. So we have a Patreon listener question that's going to be talked about on the live stream here today by Billy B, longtime patron Billy B, and he says, how many times has Transformers done innovation that has saved the brand, and how it has saved the brand through innovation? I thought about this when I read this question, and it's something where I don't think Transformers has ever done anything that I would call an innovation, but it has been stuff that has saved the brand in a lot of ways. Like number one, just the ability to transform, which gave birth to the whole brand. I wouldn't call that an innovation because the transforming from one thing to another has been around since all kinds of super robot stuff. And I mean, the first one technically being something like Raiden from the Super Robots, which of course would be Shogun Warriors here in America in that kind of cobbled way that Mattel did it. But Raiden was kind of like the first time we had a robot that was like a robot that then turned into something, in this case, like some kind of flying, not jet eagle thing. And, and we're talking like even Beast Wars. Beast Wars saved Transformers as a brand. And would you say that the CG was innovative? Not really. I mean, there were shows that had like Reboot, Mainframe, the guys who also made Beast Wars. Mainframe Reboot came before Beast Wars. It was the first show to use CG. If you don't count Insectors, which was kind of a weird one too. Then of course Toy Story that predates all of those as a movie. So it's not like the animation was innovating, but Beast Wars did definitely benefit by CG being a part of it. So, and that in a lot of ways saved the brand. And I still firmly believe to this day, as much as I love Beast Wars, it being a CG show is what saved it. It could have been the exact same show, but done in cell animation, and I firmly believe it would have not done as well. It could have been same show, same voice actors, same writing, same everything, but not CG, and I don't think people would have tuned in. I hate to say it. I would have tuned in because I love Transformers even back then, but I don't think other people would have. I think it would have got the same reception that like GI Joe Extreme or Ghostbusters Extreme got when it first was, set out there. And even the idea of like articulation, like Beast Wars having the articulation or late G2 things. I mean, GI Joe did that before. A lot of figure lines in the 80s had really good articulation. What's another good one? Bionic 6, they were kind of like GI Joe figures. They had a lot of articulation and die-cast bodies. Those were pretty cool figures, you know. So it's like I mean, Transformers doesn't have a lot of innovative things that it's ever done in general that I would have to say is also directly linked to its saving of the brand, let's say. But there is stuff they've done that's innovative. I mean, talking about like with the Aaron Archer segment with where is it here? Let me get the slide because you got to have the slide. Where's the slide? The Toy Armada segment. It's like I mean that Super Base Optimus Prime self-transforming and stuff like that's innovative. Hasn't been done again since, but that was definitely innovative. But it wasn't really tied into the saving of the brand. Armada, in a lot of ways, helped Transformers get out of that Beast Machines rut that then time was bought with RID, but it didn't exactly like save the brand. Armada helped the brand a lot at a time where it was kind of quiet. It's the ebbs and flows of Transformers that always happen. Um, where are we at here? We have some more questions, but I mean that's it more or less to kind of answer it, Billy B. Like there wasn't really anything that was an innovation that saved the brand because there's the ups and down periods.
No matter the cost.
G2 era, there was no innovation there, and that's when the line was doing kind of poorly. 1992, there was no Transformer product. There was, but it was so little in just specific regions. And then they did G2. Nothing innovative about G2 unless you want to count the cybernetic space cube. um, so nothing really there. And then Beast Wars, I mean, a lot of other stuff kind of did it before. And that's not to knock Beast Wars. I think it's the best thing Transformers has ever done, but it is what it is. I saw a question from Horned Owl. I'll get to that one, and then the super chat by Paul. Horned Owl, Proto Man, if you were an NPC in a Transformers RPG, what would your name and alt mode be? I have a fan-made character. It is a red Formula One named Proto. Some fans have made customs of it. Ultra Primal did a custom of it years ago. What do you call it? Malwave did a custom Proto years ago. One day, we're going to get a red Mirage repainted with the number 27 one day on its chest. One day you'll see. You'll see one day. It's pretty much a red Mirage, a red Formula One car. That would be my NPC, but that's always been my fan made character. I have another fan made character, but I'm going to keep that in the vault for now. That one predates everything. Um, Tucker, see you later. Nice seeing you. Bigum, with the leak listings of Nacelle, will we get a Sunstorm and Bitstream to finish the welcoming committee? I'm surprised Sunstorm has gone as long as he's had without. I mean, I think the only reason we haven't gotten a Sunstorm, it's got to be a trademark reason. There has to be a trademark reason how we have not gotten a Sunstorm up to this point. Instead of getting like, we get a Nova Storm or anything like that. Like, I think there's got to be a trademark reason. I got to look into that. Because the more I look at it, I go like, that's weird. Like there was a period of time, like there's one right there. That's like the one that came from the Armada thrust mold. Like there was a period of time, it was like there was a PVC of him, there was a reissue of him, the G1 reissue, Sunstorm, which kind of started all of this. There was 2 masterpieces. There was that one right there. There was a mini con named Sunstorm. Like that trademark was used across so much stuff. And then just like that, boom, nothing. There was an animated Sunstorm right over there. That was a Target exclusive. So it's got to be something. It's got to be a trademark reason. How could you go from using them like crazy almost every 2 years to like just cold turkey? There's got to be something. Something's happening. Where we at? Paul with the super chat. After Nacelle, how obscure could Hasbro go? Are there others? Well, there's tons of seekers. I mean, first of all, number one, let's go with the not obscure. Where's our Slipstream? I'm pretty sure we'll get Slipstream at some point. And if they do, think about it. You have a Voyager male seeker mold that they've been milking up to this point. You all of a sudden make a female kind of shaped, and I do it like this, female kind of shaped seeker mold, and then all of a sudden you open it up to you could do Slipstream, but then you can make other seeker female characters. Lady in Purple, very obscure fan reference. It's kind of what Slipstream was based on. But you could open it up to that too. And then you could create a whole bunch of new female seekers. And then that's a new tooling and a new mold. And a female seeker mold will sell like gangbusters. Everyone will kill themselves for that. Billy B, you just missed me answering your question. So you'll have to watch it in the replay. Where are we at? Man, I want to have another cookie, but that's too much. That's way too much. Gotta wash down all that sugar. Where are we at here? Link CW is a yellow Decepticon smokescreen. I guess that's your original character. Custom in the making. Where are we at? I would like to have a wheezing arrow figure. Oh, we got here Quick Randy with the super chat for $5. Thank you, Quick Randy, with the super chat. Let us know if those Armada minion trademarks are coming up. I hope some of those 2-packs are even Micromasters since they didn't do so hot. Well, just to talk about Micromasters for a second, I actually did a post recently on Twitter showing just how bad Micromasters were selling back in the day. And man, like they couldn't give them away at like $4. Like it was really bad. And it sucks because I love Micromasters, but I mean, they'll you know what? Micromasters on their own might not sell well, but mini cons that have a connection to a larger bulk figure might have a better chance if they're done in 2-packs. Because then it's like, well, then, now you have to get these mini cons because they go with your bulk figures that you bought. Where the Micromasters, it's like, do I need, Overdrive? Do I need Detour? Do I need Blackjack? Or I'm trying to think Red Hot, just some of the other names, It's like Sunrunner. It's like so there's less of a connection there unless you're like a Transformers, Victory Zone fan, or if you're someone like me who grew up on Micromasters. Mr. Bumblebot says Studio Series Gamers Edition should re-release the War for Cybertron Thrilling 30 Metroplex. Assuming it's in the budget today. They'd have to take out the electronics and stuff too, maybe. Make it cheaper. Because we haven't had electronics and stuff that's of that kind of price point in a while. So they'd have to gut the electronics maybe, and I'm pretty sure people will be fine with the electronics being gutted. But to answer your second question, quick Randy here, about the trademarks. The thing is when you really look at it, a lot of Minicon trademarks were actually trademarks of larger figures. So like you're not going to have a problem with like let's say Starscream's Minicon because that was Swindle, or Skywarp's Minicon because that was Thunderclash, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Thunderclash at some point. Actually, not related to the Minicon. Um, Jolt, which was a G2 laser rod, but that's also the name of the Minicon with what do you call it? With Hotshot. And even just recently, a company, a licensing company, licensed Cops Fighting Crime in a Future Time, and they did a long arm figure, like just a PVC figure. You could probably see that. I think the pre-orders are on BBTS. So even the long arm trademark is nice and safe right now. So a lot of those are pretty good. I mean, Sparkplug, I'm just looking right now at the Minicon Sparkplug. I mean, there's got to be some weird ones like Liftor. I'm pretty sure Liftor is in obscurity right now, or Incinerator, which was Blur's Minicon, or Overrun. I'm pretty sure you could get those back though. What are some others? Blackout. Blackout was the name of Demolisher's Minicon. Crumple Zone was the name of Cyclonus's Minicon. When you look at a lot of those Minicon names, they coexist with other Transformer trademarks, so you're kind of safe in a lot of ways. I mean, even Thrust's Minicon was named Inferno, and now they're all coming back to me. But Leader One, that would be a great one to get back. That'd be a great one to get back just for GoBot reasons. So I hope that answers that a little bit. Thank you for the super chat. Link CW, wish I had a mold in yellow. Okay, that's for your custom. Sorry if I missed things. Oh, speaking of GoBots, Mikey and Louie, hey Proto, do you ever think we will get a core GoBot character released? Yeah, well, if we get Jolt the Minicon, for sure we'll get the Cop Tour repaint like we got previously. I would want any GoBot representation. I want back when we had the movie toys and around like the time of like Revenge of the Fallen, we were getting all these GoBot homages. We got like the Spoons, aka Forklift GoBot homage. We got what's his name there, Midnight Rider. He got an homage. Who else got an homage? There was a bunch of them. They had the little MR Machine Robo on the side number. That was during the coloring eras of 2009, 2010, where we were getting all these little GoBot things, and it was pretty cool. I want tons of those. I love GoBot stuff. Well, look, we got Crasher. So the fact that Crasher can exist says that there's potential. I want Vanguard. Take that Skids mold, give me Vanguard. I love Vanguard, one of my favorite GoBots of all time. All time. Mikey and Louie also says, I'd like those mini cons that make the Sword and Shield and Perceptor combiners. Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure Star Saber, Skyboom Shield, Requiem Blaster, if they were going to do mini cons and be serious about it, sooner or later you're going to dive into the Star Saber getting redone. Getting those boys. And again, there's tons of like you get original Star Saber, Dark Saber, and then the Energon Saber. Boom, 3 repaints. Right there, 3 decos. If you can get 3 decos, it's a good idea. Horned Owl, thanks Proto. There will now be an NPC named Proto with a red Formula 1 with number 27 on his chest. I'll probably put him on Viacons hanging out with Blur and Override. Yeah, that's how I would do it. Use but I would suggest use the Blur that came from Generations, because that's the true racing Blur from IDW Comics. I know that they tried to tool it a little bit to look more like the IDW one with the Velocitron one, but I still think the original does a good job too to match Casey Collar and Shane McCarthy's design. Good stuff. Good stuff. Love that book. Spotlight Blur, top 5 Transformer comic book of all time for me, just because of the racing stuff. Billy B, did we get any Micromaster transports? We didn't really get any Micromaster transports per se, but that would be something that'd be a little more difficult because Now you're kind of falling into that playset territory. And while they were able to kind of trick, making the modulators also into playsets like Oil Slick and Air, what was it called? What was his name there? The base there, Air Run, not Air Raid's the other one. Um, like they tried to like trick some of them. Ironworks, there's another one. They try to trick it into that, but still make like robot modes instead of them just being play sets. So it's something that if the Micromaster transports were a thing, they'd probably have to like have the two Micromasters that make the front and the back of the transport, and then have the transport itself be some kind of big robot too. They'd have to think something out like that. Because I look at something like even like Rodimus from the Commander class and having that big, bulky. I have it right here actually. Having this big bulky thing that just turns into like a kind of a nothing play set in a lot of ways. It's kind of like if they could have went back, they probably would have had this transform into a robot or something. I know that sounds completely untraditional, but it's something that also I can imagine would have probably worked out better, like with the mainstream buyers. Yeah, I know there's the Vanguard copyright card game. I know. I know. They call them Vanguardian. That's what we did. When I worked on the TFCon exclusive for Vanguard, we couldn't use Vanguard. So we used Vanguardian and it worked. So there's always a way. There's always a way and people will know who you're talking about. They called Crasher Fracture back in the day. People knew who it was. It worked, you know. They knew. Hope I didn't miss anything here. Tom Laney, I got Omega Sentinel today. Looks good. QC issues of blue paint on the rocket. Oh, that's a shame. That sucks. Considering how much you paid for the big boy. Maybe use some glue gone or paint remover to kind of fix that. Usually glue gone because that's a little safer. Very poisonous though, so be careful with it. Link CW, do you think that the Earth mode Hound is canceled? I don't think so. They don't put that time and energy into retooling and tooling something and putting images out there just to cancel it. That's a waste of a mold. It's not a matter of it's canceled. It's a matter that it's been rescheduled. That's how I see it. Where's our treads from Warpath? Yeah, I would love to have treads from Warpath. I mean, we technically got Road Ranger, but it's not the proper colors. But I'd like to get a decent Road Ranger later, based on his original colors. So that'd be cool. JR Mina says, where are we at here? I just missed him. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Hey, Proto, looks like you had your dessert first. What's for dinner? I bought a lot of stuff, food shopping. I actually didn't get to hit my Asian grocery store. I'm going to be hitting that tomorrow because I actually have to go do my taxes when you do this podcast, because you have all this extra income on the side, that's a 1099, which is independent contractor. So you got to go do the taxes with that. So I'm going to go see my tax guy tomorrow. And since my tax guy is also near my Asian grocery store, going to hit that up at the same time too. So gonna go get some Asian grocery food stuff. Today I just have samosas. I bought some delicious samosas, potatoes, green peas, corn. Just a nice little veggie kind of diet. I'm gonna probably pick up something pork related tomorrow. So all that veggie diet today is gonna be offset tomorrow. But just kind of a veggie diet today. And what this this definitely ruined everything today though. These things are massive. It's crazy how big they are. I am surprised. I thought they were going to be like thick, but I didn't realize it's like my goodness. Anyone ever had like the Oreo ice cream, the ice cream Oreos, like the ice cream bar ones that are like a giant Oreo cookie? It's like that stuff. It's crazy. Got to eat yourself to death. But what's for dinner? I'm probably gonna have samosas. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna eat light tonight because I know I'm gonna be eating crazy tomorrow. I'm gonna have crazy breakfast. I'm gonna have a full crazy breakfast. Gonna have the eggs, bacon, the whole thing tomorrow, and then Asian supermarket. I'm gonna get myself some good stuff there too. I'm gonna get me some banh chui. Banh chui is ban in Vietnamese is like it means like it translates into more or less like cake, I guess is the best term, but it could also be used for bread or loaf or candy. It's kind of a catch-all word. And chewy means banana. So ban chewy it's kind of like a banana loaf, but it's not like a cake. It's made with rice and they're delicious and I love them. Probably the term that white people would use is sticky rice banana. I think that they call it. That's like the white people term, but it's ban chewy in Vietnamese. I'm gonna buy a bunch of those tomorrow. I love those. I've been like craving them for like 2 weeks now. I've been like, oh my god, I gotta get some ban chewy. Haven't had them in forever. So that is gonna be my go-to tomorrow. Gonna pick up some croissants too. Looking forward to a lot of stuff. Gotta eat. Horndowl says, Proto, this will be my TF RPG campaign. It's an RPG. So you're gonna be. Let me grab my book. Is it gonna be this one right here? I'm waiting on the other ones from Renegade. Helping with all of those. Uh, we're working on some Renegade's working on some new stuff. I can't talk about it. There's so you have the deck building game, you have the RPG. There's more coming. So stay tuned for that. A lot of cool stuff going on behind the scenes with Renegade. So stay tuned for that. A lot of really cool stuff. Um, definitely check that out. Like when and it's stuff I've been working on, so it's got like my personal touch on it. I trust me, I want to talk about it, but I can't. I just can't. But it's so cool. You guys are gonna love it. Um, Mikey and Louie, we wouldn't care what you call them, as long as you give us the mighty robots. Yeah, well, that's why. Like, I mean, if we could just get GoBots, even if look the spoons one. What did they call him? They gave him like some silly name. Didn't they call him like what did they call the spoons one? They just gave it like a silly like name in a 2-pack with the beachcomber, but we all knew it was spoons. It had the MR number on it. It had the spoons colors, you know. Link CW, hey Proto, where is it? I just missed you. It disappeared. Iris. Hey, Link CW, hey Proto, I was wondering about your shelving. I know it's deep with sliding doors, but what are the specs? Are they airtight? And are we wondering how they were made? So my shelving, how it was made essentially was like, I'll start with this one, right? So when I bought this house, this was a closet. This one specifically. This didn't even exist, like this one. Just this one here. This was a closet and it had sliding doors like a closet would have. And I got inspired by the Lucas brothers from Unicron.com. Shout out to them. Because many years ago in the 90s, you were able to fit every Transformer toy ever made. Because when you really look at it, like, look, all of this here, this is Generation 1 going all the way to car robots. Obviously the Beast Wars stuff is here. They were able to fit almost every Transformer toy ever made into a closet. And I got inspired by that. And I said, I want to do the same, but I want to do it for the growing collection. So I did that one first. And all I did literally is I hollowed out a closet. I got railing that you could buy at IKEA. Like the railing where you could just kind of click, you could put like railing pieces in them and you could customize it. I I wish I could show you guys proper. One moment. Maybe you could, one second. I'm gonna have to move the microphone a little bit. Kind of hard to see. You could kind of see the railing there. You see the little holes there? So they go all the way from the bottom to the top. And then I get plexiglass. Now, is it airtight though? It's not airtight. I could have made it airtight. Let me just bring the microphone back here. I could have made it airtight, but the problem with that is that if it would have been airtight, then you run the issue of it being ridiculously expensive because they'd have to be heavier airtight ones. These are ones that you could buy for like sliding doors that you could have in your bathroom or whatever. And since bathroom stuff doesn't need to be airtight because obviously you need the steam to kind of get out and everything, they're better. Even this isn't glass. This is plexi. It's plexiglass. Why? Way cheaper. Although maybe in COVID world, plexiglass isn't cheap. I could call it COVID now, not the big V anymore. Finally, no more censorship, YouTube. But plexiglass at one point was very cheap. So buying plexiglass instead of glass it's cheaper I mean, it does the job. It's easy to clean. Yeah, there might be a static issue, but that's not really a big issue. So it's plexiglass railing. The railings, like these railings here, you know, these railings are bought from sliding doors. You buy the sliding door rails for them at top and bottom. It is sealed at the top. See there? There's like I put a little, this is like a guard. It's almost like, I want to say like a rain gutter. Because it doesn't seal at the top properly all the way. So I put those at the top and that kind of seals it a little bit. But I'll tell you, I've had this set up for, geez, I want to say minimum 10 years. There's very little dust in it. Very little dust. Where when I lived at my parents', open exposed transformers, 2 years covered in dust, covered, like terribly covered in dust. There's just like go on Twitter and doing the search, type at Protoman in the search function, at Protoman dust, and you're going to see before and after photos of how bad the dust was. So, but it's very simple. It was an idea that I got from the Lucas brothers. I modified it to make it more affordable, because it wasn't just going to be this one and 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 and this one 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 and this one, so let's just say there's a lot of them, you know. I built a lot of them because, well, there's a lot of Transformer toys and I have a lot of Transformer toys and I don't want to deal with dust. As someone who grew up in a family that had tons of animals, dust was an issue. And it does a fantastic job. I mean, DTOFs do a great job too, but DTOFs are, and you can hear one right now because I have one right here. Here, I'll show you the DTOF. There's a DTOF right here. That's glass, tempered glass, which is good, but expensive, very expensive. So, I mean, I hope that that helps, because I know a lot of people ask about my shelving, but it was essentially, it was built. So this already existed. And then I was like, well, the wall here to the wall here, I'm going to make another shelving. And then I did the same thing on the other side, all the way to the other wall. And I mean, when you're talking, no joke, like 30,000 Transformer pieces, like no joke, I don't care. Like, I hate the guys with the guys who have like that Guinness World Record stuff, where it's like, oh, I have the biggest Transformer collection in the world. Brother, I know people who have smaller collections than me that have bigger collections than that Guinness World Record guy. So it's like, I mean, just the mini cons alone are probably more than his collection. Just my PVC collection is probably more than his collection. But it's something where when you have like 30,000 figures, you need to have a lot of space. You need to have deep shelving. Like, I can't emphasize that enough, like how deep these shelvings are. Let me just show you guys. Like, so I'm a 6 foot guy. This is my arm. Okay. I just want to just show you something. Don't want to knock everything over here. And I knew it was going to fall, but it goes really deep. I can't even reach the back. It's really, really deep. You know? There goes Roddy. I knew that was going to fall over. I had my big display, my tower of figures. Oh, well. There, that went that. Let's close you up. But I hope that answers that, because it's something that a lot of times when I see people's collections, I go, yeah, that's a pretty impressive collection, but what are you going to do about dust in 1 year? Especially if it's a basement collection. If you have a collection in a basement where you got like your heating system there or your air conditioning system, and that thing's kicking up all the time throughout the year, and some people, if they have pets, where do they put the litter box? It's probably in the basement. That cat kicks up the litter and then it goes up in the air and it's dust and everything. Then that's going to rest on your pretender shell that you spent $100 on. Always have glass displays, glass, some way to kind of keep it out of the elements. You have to, you have to. And then the lighting I forgot to mention. So the lighting on this one is fluorescent. It's Unicron trilogy. It's our alternators, modern stuff, modern plastic. We didn't have to worry about yellowing back then. Vintage stuff, all G1. that is what's called museum lighting. It looks slightly different. It actually looks brighter on the camera, but I have to tell you something. In real life, it actually has more of an orange kind of tinge to it. It's funny how the camera picks it up. This one's more white. This one's much more orange. But museum lighting, you could buy it at your local hardware store. And what museum lighting is, it has a low UV. And what it exists for is a lot of times it's for like places that have paintings or like, sculptures or historic artifacts. So it's a very good lighting to have. And I learned that from my dad because my father, a lot of places that like people who collect vinyl records, stuff that sometimes could be like 60, 70 years old, 80 years old, they use museum lighting for their collections. So I use that for the vintage stuff. Although, mind you, it hasn't affected me yet. I mean, maybe we might need museum lighting for some of the more recent figures, you know? Although it hasn't affected me yet. I think honestly, I think it's not a lighting issue with the recent figures. I think it's a climate issue. I think it's a heat issue that's happening now. It's not a photo sensitivity. I think it's a climate sensitivity that these plastics are having. Because I've seen, to give you an example, Bandai. You could look this up on eBay. Bandai back in the 1990s had a line called The Tick. Anyone remember The Tick? It was a cartoon that was on Fox comic book. I love it, by Ben Unlin. So the Tick action figures, they didn't have photosensitivity. They had some kind of climate issue where the bodies of the Tick they were blue and they would all like yellow. And there was people that had these action figures in storage in cases, sealed, no sunlight, nothing, and they all turned yellow still. So there's some kind of plastic degradation that's going on there on a climate level. LED lights are okay too. They don't have as much UV. LED is perfectly fine. LED, the thing with LED, my problem with LED is I find that they don't do enough brightness. You have to put a ton of LED lights to get the brightness of one fluorescent, you know? And so I'm just kind of in the way that like I like to get proper lighting that's really dynamic and lights up all the figures and penetrates multiple shelving. Think about packed G1, packed G1, packed G1, so that it goes all the way through right down to Fortress Maximus over there. I need something that's a strong lighting. Where LEDs, I like LEDs, but they're good for, I guess, like what's decoration, but I don't find they do the job of lighting up a room. Maybe if something new comes around, perhaps. You hate dusting your collection. Brother, I had to dust every single figure when I came from my parents' afterwards, and it was a nightmare. Oh my God. Like it became like a series of tweets. This was like 2000, man, I want to say like 2010, 2011. It was just nuts. It was absolutely nuts how much of that I had to do. Crazy. Um, I don't know if LED lighting will be safe for G1, but LED lighting is very low on the UV. So I would imagine it would be okay, but don't that you should look into. I'm not a fan of LED just because it doesn't do a good job in general. It's good for like if I wanted to like put some LED strips here for like colors, like oh, some red LEDs or something. Yeah, that would be cool, but it's not lighting up the room. LED lights are like trying to light up a room with Christmas lights. You wouldn't try to light up a room with Christmas lights. It just does enough just to give color, if anything. Where are we at here? I don't want to lose anything. Paul with super chat. I am sorry about that. Do you have lighting for the lower shelves in the display case? Looks darker down there. Yeah, see, that's the problem because I didn't put lighting for the lower ones because it was a penetrative light. And of course, obviously, as the figures get more dense, the lights get more darker down there. But again, it might look dark to you, like looking at it here. But when you have the lights coming from other areas, it's perfectly lit. Maybe the bottom, which would be like my Transformers Prime collection at the bottom. It might be a little dark on camera, but it looks perfectly fine here. Because on top of all the lights that you have here, left and right, I have the main light right above me. You know what I mean? Two ones right there. And the Matrix of Leadership. And the dreaded pop vinyl. Gee, who did I get those from? Dun dun dun. But so I have those too. I'm a big proponent of fluorescent. I find it works the best. It's the cheapest. It lasts the longest. Um, when I was a kid growing up, I had a basement bedroom. It had fluorescent light. It's great lighting to read under. My eyesight is perfect. So I always go with fluorescent. It's always a go-to. Same thing, my game room is fluorescent light, although we're still trying to like fix and install that properly for the game room in the future. Um, Mikey and Louie asked me, what's the largest collectible thing you own? That would have to be my 1x4 scale push car Michael Knight push car from Knight Rider that I had since I was a kid that I rebought because my parents sold it and then I found one during the Big V. That thing is bigger than a USS Flag. Where is it right now? It sits in the garage. A car should be in a garage. It's very huge, and it even has like you push a button, it has the lights from Kit. That's probably the biggest collectible I own out of everything I own. I'm probably not forgetting anything else. That would probably have to be it. I would have loved to own those oversized Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles. Remember when those came out? Like they did those huge ones there. I would have loved to own one of those. My Toys R Us had the Leonardo, but I wanted a Raphael. If they had the Raph, I would have bought it. But now looking back, I would have bought even that one. And another thing, if anyone remembers Playmobil, one of my stores that was going out of business had a giant, like life-size Playmobil of the Montreal Canadiens, the hockey team, and they were selling it for $50 Canadian, and I didn't get there in time, and someone else got it. I would have paid $200 for that. That was really cool too. So that would have been something cool. Also, I would have liked to have. All the big stuff I have is, Fort Max, Transformer stuff. Pyramidus from Power Rangers. I have him too. He's pretty huge. Some statue stuff. There's a Proto Man statue that's pretty big that I have. A Bret Hart statue that's pretty big, but they're probably still not as big as Pyramidus or Fortress Maximus or any of the recent Titans. Although I still consider the original Fort Max bigger because he's thicker. He's heavier. He's still definitely the heaviest Transformer. Um, let's see. Timmy K. Pointer, forget TF figures. When are you doing an exotic Canadian food giveaway? All the really good Canadian food would not get to you properly in time. Like I remember someone asked me to bring Montreal bagels to them or to bring them poutine, but by the time you would get it, it wouldn't be fresh anymore, and then that defeats the purpose. So it would be impossible to send you guys proper Canadian food. I mean, I could send you Canadian staples like that are junky kind of stuff, like Smarties, which are like a can. It's kind of like M&Ms if it had like a sweeter kind of candy taste to it. Smarties are pretty cool. What's else? What else is Canadian that I could send? Uh, I don't know. It's a lot of really good made fresh food. That's having an orange julep. Oh, that's such a Montreal staple. Orange julep is incredible. Orange juice with cream with a scoop of vanilla ice cream blended. Oh my God. And it makes you need to go to, I don't know why, whenever you have orange julep, it just passes through you like a diuretic. But my goodness, fantastic. I brought Toronto guys to go have that, and they thought it was like the greatest thing they've ever had in their lives. So good. So good. That's a Montreal. Look for the giant orange. It's a giant orange in Montreal. It's a huge orange. Huge, huge orange. And it's like a diner deli kind of like drive-through kind of thing. The orange julep. It's a staple in Montreal. Absolutely amazing. Anyone who comes down, I'll take you there. You'll love it. Um, did you say you want more Funko Pops? No, unless you're getting me the Hot Rod one. Then I'm fine with it. Funko has enough problems already. But get me that Hot Rod one then if you want to buy me a Funko. What is he at right now? $150? Um, that's what I'm always gonna say. Oh, Funko, get me the Hot Rod one. Link CW, phone is at 15%, gonna die. Great stream, Proto. Love what you do, brother. Thanks, anyways, for having me. Thank you for coming, Link CW. And we have 13 minutes left. Well, we got 13 minutes left every time. We're flying today, man. By the way, we'll see in the background there's some Magic the Gathering. There, I'll show you guys these. So I bought Ultra Pro sent these to me. Different kind of sponsorship, not related to the Transformer Slag podcast sponsorship. This is me working with Hasbro's Wizard stuff, but more specifically the Ultra Pro guys. So they sent me a bunch of these beautiful Magic the Gathering cases to hold your cards and stuff. And so here I'll show you a little Proto Man. Where is it? If you know, you know. Where is it? One moment. Hold on, because I don't want to damage it trying to take it out. Ah, there it is. If you know, you know. It's in terrible condition, so don't freak before you freak out. It's not in the best condition in the world, but I don't want to damage it already more than I did back in the day. So we didn't know. We didn't know. But so humidor boxes, beautiful. Uh, Thank you, Ultra Pro, for those, even though you're not sponsored on this stuff. Where are we at here? Where are we at here? Snell's World with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Snell's World, for the super chat. Do you consider G1 City Bots Titans? No, because Titans are a price point. That's like saying, do you consider Jetfire a leader class? A leader, but a leader class. Titans is a price point. It's a way to price a transformer. It's not a designation unless you're talking about, let's say, the Cyberverse universe or the IDW universe, where Titans are also a term. You know, like the city speakers, the Titan controllers. He was a Titan. To me, a Titan is a price point, unless otherwise in that indicated fiction. In Generation One, they were city bots, they were city formers, they were bases. They weren't Titans because like we didn't consider Omega Supreme a city former. He was just a big transformer. We didn't consider Devastator a Titan or Predaking a Titan, but they're Titan class toys and they're called Titans. You know what I mean? They're just combiners. So to me it's a price point unless the fiction in that individual continuity says otherwise. Uh, I'm not a fan personally of it, the Titans, because not all big Transformers should be given that kind of blanket term. Unicron is bigger than all of them. You wouldn't call him a Titan, you know? I mean, even the HasLab Unicron, we don't call it Titan class. It's freaking HasLab Unicron. There he is chilling. Uh, where are we at here? Mikey and Louie, have you made a Magic Transformers deck? And if so, how does it play? I am working on a Magic the Gathering Commander format Transformers deck. I'm working on two of them right now. I haven't gotten all the pieces that I want yet. I want to have a commander with Shattered Glass Bumblebee, and I want to do a commander with Shattered Glass. What do you call it? Cyclonus, because of the hot rod connection. And I'm slowly piecing together the needed pieces for it. But when you do the commander format, you could only have one of every card, and I'm very much a stickler with that. And not to mention, after when they revealed the commander sphere card, which is the planet Cybertron, look that one up. Um, which is now a key. I have to track those ones down. Those go for about 15 a piece. So I'm trying to track them down in decent condition so I could double sleeve them. I'm very picky with that kind of stuff. Like I have the ones you gave me, Mikey and Louie. Got my hot rod deck here. So with the hot rod one, I always keep it near me. You know? So I have my hot rod deck, and putting that hot rod deck together was all like, being picky and planning stuff out and having the right sleeves for it, and everything. So you got to have it. Pretty cool, eh? Let me show you guys. Look, Mikey and Louie made this. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? They're awesome people. They're awesome people. Um, and again, my deck, it does. I don't know how it plays. I haven't been able to. I need to put it together first, and then practice with like my buddy Julian, or play with Larry and the crew or something before I before I even bring it out to the public. I haven't played at a Magic event in quite a while. I've attended those events. I just haven't had time to stay around, you know? And the ironic thing is my local game store, I don't want to bury them, so I'm not going to say their name, but my local game store that I go to recently, supposedly 3 people ended up getting testing positive for COVID. And so that that probably screwed up everything for the next couple of weeks. Um Mr. Bumblebot, so I've been getting happy birthday notifications from the forums. Could you eat one more stuffed Oreo to celebrate? Oh, I don't want to eat another stuffed Oreo though. Come on, man. I'm having maybe one a day until this box. I'm not eating anymore. That stuff is so unhealthy. I took it honestly, guys. I took it for you guys. That's the I like in all honesty, this would not be in my house in general, really. But I was like, you know what? It's so off the wall. Much like when we ate the hot ones. The hot ones I got for myself, and then I thought you guys would enjoy it. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like if I see something wacky, you know, it's always like that. Um, I'll wish you happy birthday, but I'm not going to eat more of those Oreos. What's the archetype of my hot rod deck? So the hot rod deck, my rule with the hot rod deck, I have 2 rules with this deck, is all the art has to feature hot rod or hot rod adjacent cards. So you have hot rod, hot rod, hot rod, matrix of leadership, hot rod related. So that's like adjacent hot rod cards, hot rod. There's one here. Where's the one that one of the bounty? So this one here, you have this here, the Cybertronian crossbow. It's not Hot Rod, but it's like a Hot Rod looking character with the red and yellow. So I was like, okay, I'll allow that one. And then you have even this one here with Blackjack. You have Blackjack, but if you look in the background there, there's Hot Rod with Firebolt, you know, coming in to attack him in the background. And so that's kind of my rule. But you need to have 3 characters to kind of make a full deck. I have the Combiner Wars Hot Rod, the normal Hot Rod card. I need a third card. You can't double up. So when you look at the Hot Rod cards, there's a little bit of a lean on Bounty Hunter. So I am using Hot Rod, Combiner Wars, Hot Rod. I believe it came out in not Titan's Return, the one after it. What was the name of it? Mikey Louie, help me out here. What was the one that came after Titan's Return? I mean, after Combiner Wars. I forget what it was. But there's a lean on the Bounty Hunter, so Nightbird is my third. So I have Hot Rod, Nightbird is my team. And it has a lot of Bounty Hunter cards that work with the Hot Rod cards. So that's kind of my team. I was thinking about using Lockdown, but I think Nightbird works better with that deck. And it's actually pretty decent. I was surprised. And it's to me, that's like if this game would have continued, that would have been a format in itself. Is can you make a deck based around a character just based on its art, you know? And was able to make one. It's a sad that people don't play it anymore. Mikey Louie, stop trying to kill Proto. He lies. Exploded on 2 Oreos. No, but these are huge Oreos though. Like they're like it's like eating like four Oreos in one. Again, they give a warning. Looking for a special treat? One serving is one cookie. Just a reminder for your 16% of fat per cookie. Yeah, an animated Hot Rod uses a crossbow. That's why, because they had like a character that's like kind of Hot Rod looking and it has a Cybertronian crossbow. So I was like, okay, that's Hot Rod adjacent. The Matrix of Leadership, that's Hot Rod adjacent. So I could work with that. If like there was a Sword of Primus card, mind you, Hot Rod's in the art too, but there's a Sword of Primus card, Hot Rod adjacent. So it's a really fun deck. I was surprised I was able to do it. I'm pretty sure you could probably do that with Bumblebee. There could probably be because there's a lot of Bumblebee cards. So you could probably do a Bumblebee deck Who would be obviously Optimus, obviously Megatron. One of the best cards in the game is Megatron related. Who else would be another character you could probably do a lot of? Maybe like Grimlock. There's quite a few Grimlock cards, but that's just one of the decks I do. And here I'll even show with my blue one here. I got all my blue cards too. This is a vintage deck, not a vintage, a legacy deck. Anyone who knows this, True Nemesis, good old True Name Nemesis, Merfolk deck. Anyone who knows Magic the Gathering. Got sent a whole bunch of these by good old Ultra Pro. And then Dragon Shields. This is a little bit of a Transformer nod to it. So Dragon Shields, which are the sleeves that I use for all my cards. What's cool about Dragon Shields is every single color has a name of the dragon, and the copper dragon is called Draco Primus. Nice. So that's pretty cool. But yeah. Oh my goodness, we have 1 minute left and 30 seconds. We flew today. We flew. Good stuff today, guys. Anyways, I just want to say a few things before we close up today. But we have some questions, so I'll just get some of those questions first. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. Princeton Phalanx 59, is Hasbro done using the Legacy Skids mold? Or is there more repaints they could get? Like I said, I'm pretty sure they could do Vanguard from GoBots. I'm pretty sure they're gonna still look. I mean, they milked that Starscream 2006 Seeker mold into, what was it? Someone counted 27 different repaints and retools. So if they could do that with the Starscream, they could, if they could look, if they could figure it out, if you know what it is, it's not a matter if they'll do it, it's if it makes sense. If they could think of something to do with it, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. So, and considering, now they're able to maintain the quality of molds better now, I could see them milking it as much as they need to, in all honesty. In all honesty. But that's it, more or less. So once again, thank you everyone for coming. Again, if you want to help support the podcast, there's the Patreon link down there, and you could come join the Patreon and help support the podcast. Or if you want to, Patreon's not your thing, and you want to be one of those green names on the side with the little icons next to it, the YouTube members, there's the YouTube member link, and you can come join that way. Again, thank you all who did super chats and did YouTube membership questions and everything. You guys are the bread and butter of the podcast, along with my beautiful patrons. Again, come join the Patreon, YouTube membership, whatever works. Aside from that, again, thank you for my sponsors. Got to go this way. Everything's backwards because I mess with the cameras. Again, Symbiote Studios, thank you for your sponsorship and all the clothing we wear. I'd be naked on this stream, I guess, if it wasn't for Symbiote Studios. Well, one day when they make pants. Uh, and the seats for the seats, Hasbro Pulse for sending me all the cool stuff that we always get week to week, month to month, year to year. And of course, thank you to all you guys who come every single week. I think we topped out at 147, something like that today. A smaller day, but still cool to see you guys all here. Hope you have a good Saturday night. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Go hang out with your friends and family. Tomorrow I got to go out and do my taxes and do all of that. I know there was another question for taxes. I just remembered now. I totally missed it. But again, thanks everyone for coming. I'll talk to you all later. Take care of yourselves, take care of your friends and your families, and enjoy this beautiful world that we live in, because it's an amazing world. Don't let the negativity get to you, because it's usually just stuff that you're seeing on Twitter. And like I always say, Twitter isn't real and the people on Twitter aren't real. Take care of yourselves. I'm out of here. I'll see you next time. Peace.